Hey everyone, I'm Gautam aka The Seek of Wisdom. I'm a manifestation coach, and in this video, we're going to be talking about why thought transmissions are real and also a success story with regards to that. Now, before I do so, I'd like to remind you guys I am available for coaching. I offer hourly, monthly, email, and DM coaching. The link will be in the description down below. I also have a Facebook group where I upload resources and where you can ask questions anonymously, and also a mailing list where I post articles and my latest offerings for coaching as well. Again, all the link will be in the description down below, so be sure to check them out. So what prompted this video was a follower asking me, could you do a video on like no contact, situation with regards to an ex? And I felt like it was really, strongly tied to thought transmissions and also a recent success story of mine with regards to a client was also regards to like thought transmission as well. So I decided to like why not talk about this in a video and really combine those two, and I feel like it will really help the audience as well. So let's talk about my success story first. So this client basically was coming to me with regards to an SP matter, and basically she had a virus. Like she contracted a virus, or you can also say like it was like an infection of sorts as well. I'm not going to be saying exactly what it is out of respect for that person, but it was a mild one. Wasn't like too serious, but when she was telling me about it, like she said that she was kind of anxious because she was going to get the report soon and whatnot, and I wanted to help her in any way I could. So naturally speaking, I intended for her to be perfectly healthy and whatnot, and we spoke about other things, and we didn't really bring that up in our conversations thereafter, and everything was going well. And there was one, I think it was a couple of days later after we initially spoke about that. I was doing a visualizing session. Sometimes I do that time to time. I don't do it every single day simply because of time constraints and whatnot, but I was just imagining things, and for my loved ones and everything, and I was compelled to do something for her as well. And the scenes came naturally to me. So we were in an abandoned warehouse again. Like I didn't plan any of this, by the way. We were in an abandoned warehouse, and like black goo was coming out of her. So I imagined like black goo coming out of her, and the goo kind of looked like the Venom symbiote, if you will, like from the Spider-Man movies, right? It looked something like that. And at first it was like coming out in bits and pieces, and then there was like one whole chunk coming out, and this one was like a monster. It had like the teeth and everything, like exactly like a Venom symbiote but without the eyes. And I don't know why that imagery came to me, and all of a sudden like something just like vaporized it. Like if you've seen like sci-fi films, like how things get vaporized, it was something like that. And like I remember like I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, and I'm telling her, you're good, like you're fine now, you're all right, you're healthy. And like I think like someone gives her a blanket, and a blanket is just wrapped around her, and I open my eyes, like that was that, right? 10 to 20 minutes later, she texts me saying, hey, I got the report from the doctor, it's all good, it's nothing serious, we're good here. So everything has been resolved, something along those lines basically. And I told her what had happened prior to that, and I think like I was really surprised. Even though I know the law works, even though like I know all the principles and all the functions that's going on behind the scenes and whatnot, I was still surprised nonetheless. Like because this was like literally something that I did like a couple minutes ago, before I got her text message. And mind you, like we are like time zones are like sporadic. And when this client messaged me, I didn't expect her to message me at that time, and also simply because like I didn't know when her medical report was coming either, so I didn't like check on her with the intent of doing so or anything. She just texted me saying that hey, guess what, so and so, everything came, and like it's all good right now and whatnot. And when she said that, I was like, wow, like thought transmissions are real. Like the fact that I did this visualizations and everything, like it really showed me evidence like immediately, almost, right, within matter of minutes here. And this was like literally like playing with like someone's health here. So definitely I was really happy that I was able to do that for that person. And also like um, she also came at it from a place of like, oh, it's cool, it's nothing kind of thing, from right from the get-go. So I do feel that it was really like wonderful that it turned out the way it did. And that kind of reinforced me that thought transmissions are always happening, and that they're always going back and forth. And I was really happy about it, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So the reason why I'm sharing that right now is, during the global situation that is right now, many of you may be concerned for your loved ones' health and whatnot. Imagine something like a visual scene for them that would really, like, make them seem like they are whole, alive, and healthy. And I feel like, as long as you can get to that assumption, and if you can have an inner conversation with them based on that perspective, it's really going to help. Again, why? Because thought transmissions are very real. They are you pushed out, so it's going to turn out the way you want it to. So always like keep in mind of that. And thought transmissions are always happening, not just with the people you are thinking of, but with everyone is often receiving your thoughts. And the analogy immediately people go to is like, like a cell tower or like a Wi-Fi antenna or something like that, right? And the disadvantage with that analogy, I find, when I explain that to people in that manner, is they take it in a very literal sense. So what do I mean by this is that they say that, if someone is closer to me, logically speaking, they receive the signal stronger compared to a person who is halfway across the world. But the thing is, like, everyone receives it instantaneously. Thought transmissions are instant, regardless of distance, because it doesn't operate in the physical plane of things. So it doesn't like operate the way we think it does. Thought transmissions are instant. We are all connected because they are all within you. So if you can see it from that logic, they receive it instantly. So I just wanted to say that because a lot of people tend to confuse it, with like, why is this, like, if someone is closer to me, does that mean, they're going to receive it quicker and whatnot? No. Because some of you are, long distance with your SPs and whatnot, and you think like maybe things may take time to reach them. And even though there's a time delay in the 3D, that is in no way, shape, or form like a reason as to why you might think that thought transmissions might take some time. It doesn't operate in the same way that 3D does. So it's all instant in the imagination, in the 4D, if you will. So thought transmissions are instant. So just keep that in mind when you guys are sending thoughts to your loved ones, with regards to anything, health, wealth, for love, romantic relationships, and whatnot. Like, whatever you're thinking about them, they are receiving them constantly. And it may show up in very different ways in the 3D, right? Like, they may be nudged to do something towards you, and the best part is that they will always feel that it's coming from them, it's their thoughts. Like, I was talking about this to a friend recently too, and she was saying like, I've been like affirming for money and whatnot, and like a couple months back, and I think I was saying like something along the lines of people are always giving me free money. And my friend said, I wanted to buy you a coffee because I had a buy me a coffee page and whatnot, right? And she was saying like, but due to like some credit card stuff, I couldn't. But I don't know what you were doing, but I feel like, I really wanted to give you. And I said, well, I was affirming so and so. But even then she said, well, even though you may have affirmed that, like, that is still my thought. And I would still argue that those were my thoughts. Like, in other words, the ownership of the thought still, depended on her, according to her. And she would still take ownership for that thought, and she would still act upon it, even if she knew that I was affirming this, so to speak. So what I'm saying is that, even though people may know this, they will still take ownership for their thoughts, and they will still act upon it, is all I'm saying. So for your SP, don't be afraid if, like, if they know that you're manifesting them or anything like that. Like, they are still going to take ownership for their thoughts, and they are still going to reach out to you, is all I'm saying. Because if you are someone who tends to overthink stuff, these may things that may concern you. So just wanted to assure you guys that such things may happen. They may know that you're manifesting them, but regardless, they will still come back. And also, you can look at it as circumstances not mattering at all. So yeah, with regards to the question of the follower, how to, like, manifest, or what to do, when you're manifesting an ex, like, from a no contact situation. The key thing to remember that again is thought transmissions are very real. So I think, like, doing inner conversations with the person, doing like visualizing sessions with the person, visualizing scenes where you and the person are like roaming around in your favorite restaurants or in your favorite dream locations together, that would really help. And always make it a point to always think favorably about them, and also think and talk to them when you're having inner conversations. Talk to them in a favorable manner. Don't have any mental arguments with them. Don't like say things in a very angry manner, talk to them lovingly and also hear them say loving things to you. Make it a back and forth conversation between them. And even when you are like, affirming for them, for example, hear them say like, yes, I am. Or, let's say you're saying like, SP loves me. Hear SP say like, yes, I do. Right? Like make it a back and forth conversation between them. And I feel like that would really help you guys. And why? Because this is, because again, thought transmissions are real. They're going to receive your thoughts, and this is, capable of coming to fruition. Everything in the 4D is instant. They are receiving those thoughts instantly, and they're going to act upon it as well. So, keep that faith, and, always, you can always test it out on people. You can always hear a close one or a relative or a friend talking about this to you, saying a certain thing to you, a very specific phrase. Neville have done it before as well, so you guys can do something like that to really cement your faith that the thought transmissions are very real. And if this person can say this to me, so can my SP say whatever I want from them. And I always talk about a letter technique as well. So I always it's also an example of why thought transmissions are real. So for those of you who don't know, Neville had a story when it came to revision, that a mother-in-law was chased out of her house, and she wanted to get in touch with her daughter-in-law and her grandson for nearly 2 years, I believe. And they didn't really respond. She sent a lot of gifts for her grandson, but there was no contact between them for 2 years. And she heard Neville, and she wrote a letter for both of them, from the perspective of her daughter-in-law and from the perspective of her grandson. And what eventually happened was, 8 days later, she would read it every single night, in those 8 days, like as though it's from them, and she felt it real. And what eventually happened was, they wrote the exact same letter, word to word, basically, and it happened. And again, I feel like that's a, prove right there that everyone is you pushed out, that thought transmissions are real. Because as she was reading it, if they are embodying that letter word for word in the one that they sent, that really shows that thought transmissions are real. So that could be a way you can do it. So you can write a letter from your SP's perspective to yourself and read it every day. Especially in a no contact situation, I feel like that would be ideal for you guys. And many people tend to view no contact as a huge disadvantage when manifesting their SP. I would argue otherwise, actually, because it's much more of a Herculean task for some people to keep focusing on both the 3D and the 4D versions. They are two separate versions, and if you see them as that way, it would really help. But it really is a challenge for a lot of individuals to see the 3D separate from the 4D. They tend to mix those two both. And they say well, if I'm SP is telling me X, Y, and Z in imagination, well, why is he doing this in the 3D, and I can't focus on that. But when it comes to no contact, you guys don't have an issue with all those kinds of things. You only have one version to focus on, which is the 4D, because 3D is practically not in contact with you, and that's a good thing. Use that ambiguity to your advantage to create the version that you want. And I feel like that would really, really, really help you guys a lot as well. So so this is for people who are in no contact situation, like the follower who requested this video from me. I feel like this will really help you guys a lot as well. So yeah, even in my life, I've heard other clients tell me this too. Recently one of my clients had wanted her superior to ask her something, and she just imagined it, and the superior just asked her all of a sudden, are you shifting into this room, right? Because she wanted to tell that to the superior because they were shifting room, and she wanted to tell that to her, but she felt it was very trivial. She's working, she didn't want to disturb her. And then the superior immediately looks up at her and goes are you why are you having the session today, or something like that. And it was instant. And even another client actually said with her son, basically she was thinking how loving her son is or something, and then he immediately went to hug her. He was eating, he stopped, and he went to hug her. So again, these things really do happen, and thought transmissions are really real. And so if those things can happen, guys, it can happen for SP too. So keep that faith. Don't see SP as being very unique in that sense. Again, that's low key putting them on a pedestal. So bring them down, treat them like any other commoner, and say that if this can happen for this person, my colleague, my friend, or my superior and whatnot, it can happen for SP too. They are no different, they are no special than them, and everyone is being pushed out. Thought transmissions are instant, so this has to reach them and they have to conform to that and act accordingly as well. So I think this is a lot to do with really trusting and knowing, and also you can experiment, like I said earlier as well. You can experiment with like your friends or family to hear them say a specific phrase, and that will pan out as well. Even for me, like sometimes I'll be thinking about a song when I'm with my friends and whatnot. And there was one time like my friend started singing that song out of the blue, and I'm like, there's no way, like I kid you not, I was just thinking about that song, right? Because why thought transmissions are real. Like he was able to feel my thoughts, and he may have just had the nudge to just sing the song out of the blue, but it was because of my thoughts, because I am the creator of my reality, and because everyone is being pushed out, it came through him. So guys, we have come to the end of this video. If this video resonated with you, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Also, turn on the notification bell. Be sure to subscribe as I upload a new video every single week. If you have any questions, you can put them down in the comments as well. Coaching wise, you guys can email me for more info or DM me via Instagram to get the pricing details and whatnot. So guys, thank you so much for your support. I've been receiving an overwhelming amount of support from all of you, primarily from my Instagram audience as well. And also people who enjoy the content here also join our Facebook group and ask questions there as well, especially if you want to be anonymous. That's definitely an option. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and happy manifesting. Peace.